kind of mentally, we talked to Wes a little bit. Where's this team mentally?
Well, I mean, it's just it's pretty simple. We can't make as many mistakes as we've been making. I mean, that's it's as simple as that. It's not. It hasn't been a physical thing. It hasn't been. We make too many mental errors, and we're not executing to the level we need to, and you can't do that. I mean, heck, I mean, I was saying last night, I felt like I walked off the field after the first half. We're down 9 points, and I felt like we should have been up by 14 points or up by 10. I thought we definitely shouldn't have been down by 9. And you know, we've been our own worst enemy. I got to coach it better. We have to play better. We can't make as many mistakes as we've been making. There he is. I've been trying.
Wes said he thinks that some guys may just be in a game because, as you said before, practices continue to go pretty well. But in a game, he said he thinks there's some players that may just be nervous about making a mistake. And that
Yeah, you can't play football that way, and we talked about it. But you know, to me, a lot of that is just having confidence. You know, you got to believe in your preparation, and you got to lean on your preparation, and don't make it out more than it is. It's you're supposed to do this, do this. Um, I mean, the things that has me shaking my head. There's, you know, I go back to a situation that happened during the game, and we have they call a timeout. We go over. I saw what the formation they lined up in. Went over exactly. Okay, we're going to do this. This is what they're going to do, and I was exactly right in what they were going to do, and looked them all in the eye. Okay, everybody good. We understand what's going to happen. Here's how to cut. Here's what they're going to run. We got to do this coverage wise. We got to do this up front, and a couple guys did it right. A couple guys didn't do it. Like the conversation never happened, and we talk about it on the next day, and it's like, didn't you understand? We talked about this, yes, but they don't have an answer why they did it. I mean, it's hard to. That's why I'm having a hard time putting my finger on it. And you know, you always try to figure out. Okay, you can get it fixed when you understand why it's happening. Sometimes there are times I don't understand why it's happening. That's the frustrating part of it from a coach's standpoint. But at the end of the day, we got to keep. You know, it was better in some areas, but the consistency just isn't there, and you can't live that way.
Is it almost like, I don't want to say sickness, but something epidemic or something?
I don't know, Dana. I've been coaching a long time. I've never been this frustrated as I am right now. And you know, because the kids, I know the want to's there. Their effort is there. Um, it's you know, we just like I said, you know, I gotta coach it better. We gotta coach it better, and stay the course. It's not an X and O problem. It's not, you know, it's an execution problem. We're not executing and that's our job to get them to execute at a higher level.
Montgomery's struggling in the past few weeks. You just feel like he's maybe forcing the action too much, given other teams.
Yeah, I think sometimes he gets. I think he reverted back a little bit to some old. I don't know. He's the last 2 weeks he's been looking at our routes more so than identifying the coverage and going through his reads and letting his reads. You know, he did that well early in the season, and you can't stare at our routes. You have to first. You got to see what they're doing and let the coverage tell you where to go with the football. And when he does that, we're decisive, and you know, we're going to the right places. We missed some things, and he missed some things. He'd be the first one to tell you the other day that if he just goes with his read and leans on his training, we got a couple big plays. And you know, it's, you know, obviously the quarterback position. There's a lot to it, but yeah, he's got to do that better.
Why was that kind of fun?
Well, because we didn't. I wasn't happy with. You know, we shanked the ball out of bounds, and we weren't hitting the ball good, so I put him in the punt. That's my only other punter I had on the roster that day.
Um, mark out another shot. Against South Dakota.
Yeah, we'll see how the week goes. Yeah.
Well, the execution, is it more, I mean, it seems like the defensive line is really playing well.
Defensive line is playing very well, extremely well. I mean, we had a couple boneheaded mistakes the other day that hurt us, but overall, they've been a constant. They've played well this pretty much throughout the whole season. And it's not this guy or this guy or this guy. It's we're taking, on both sides of the football, we're taking. I don't know where it's going to come from. I mean, heck, we started the second half. Obviously, we're right there in the football game. We have the ball to start the third quarter, and I think we missed assignment on the first play. I believe we missed assignment on the second play. Didn't read the coverage right on third down, punt. And then we come out the next series, and these aren't like I believe the same thing happened on the next drive. I mean, that can't happen. And then, obviously, then we shank a punt and 15 yards, and so you come out trying to make a statement, trying to, you're right there in the football game, and you go 3 and out, and you give them the ball at the 45-yard line or whatever it was. And just a tough way to start. And when you're on the road, you can't do those things. That can't happen, and that's frustrating.
Can you give us a quick preview of South Dakota? I would imagine they're a team much like yourself. So if they're coming in here feeling their backs against the wall, they can't afford to lose any games from here on out.
Yeah, I don't know what their mindset is. I know what our mindset is. I know our kids are upset. They're not. There's a lot of things going through their head. They know we're better. I know we're better than we're playing. I know what we're capable of, but we're not playing that way. Does South Dakota feel that way? I don't know. I'm not in their locker room. I'm not worried about how they're feeling. I'm worried about us addressing the things we need to address. But they're a very capable football team. They're a well-coached football team, and they're very capable.
For your players being accountable for themselves, maybe?
I think that's always something that I talked to them about on Friday. I think they're willing to hold themselves accountable, and they're willing to take responsibility. I think that what needs to happen, I think this needs to happen. It's just my opinion. It's that you have to hold each other accountable. I mean, first, to do that, you got to hold yourself accountable first. I think our guys are willing to accept responsibility for their mistakes, but you have to start addressing it within your group, and that means leadership needs to speak up, but also to be a leader. Some of the boneheaded mistakes we're making are happening by guys that have experience and have been around. That can't happen. To be a leader, you first better hold yourself accountable first and perform, because then the guys are going to listen to you. And it's just, like I said, it's too many mental mistakes. And at the end of the day, I got to coach it better.
What has been the issue with the run game? It's kind of been a staple for the offense for a long time, and hasn't been there.
Too many mental mistakes. Turning guys free. I mean, heck, we turned a 3 technique free on a zone. We just don't block them. I mean, it's those things can't happen. I mean, you just can't. You can't have as many. If you get beat physically, you get beat physically. A couple of times, yeah, they made some. They beat us. Guy, whatever, made our tackle, came off of our tackle, made a play. You know what? Good for you. Good play. That's going to happen in a football game. But the amount of times that we're either targeting something wrong, or a guy just does something that's inexplicable, it's killing us. And then you try to, that it just can't happen. Our level of execution stinks, and it's just not where it needs to be. I don't care what you call. It's not really what you do. It's how you do it. And, you saw the amount of times that, especially early in the game, when we were executing, I thought, pretty well. in some area, even some during some of those big plays, we made a couple mistakes, but we're just moving up and down the field. But when you're not doing it consistently, and next thing you know, you come down and you get down 1st and 10, and somebody busts an assignment and turns somebody loose, and then you're 2nd and 15. It's killing drives. That's been happening for. It has to be. It's not doing something out of the ordinary to play a great football game. It's doing the ordinary things consistently, and that's what this team has not been able to. That's what we haven't been able to sustain.
Getting back to South Dakota, how would you describe their styles offensively and defensively?
Offensively, they want to spread you out, create space, run a lot of RPOs, put you in run pass conflicts, and they want to they want to throw the football around, and then if they get you spread out too far, they're going to hand the ball off and try to hurt you in the run game. They're going to make you cover the whole field. I mean, they're a true spread offense, and I think they have a good handle on what they're trying to accomplish. I was listening on my drive in today. Somebody was on the radio talking about the craze of the RPOs in the NFL. Well, college, we've been dealing with that for a number of years, and these guys, that's what their offense is based on, is the run pass options. It's like an option game. And then you throw into the fact that their quarterback is mobile and they'll run the quarterback some. They make you account for everything.
How would you compare this quarterback to Straveler? Obviously, he was
I think he started this year in the CFL. This kid's athletically very similar, maybe not as big. He's a good football player. They use him the same way. Defensively, they're a little bit of man, 4-man front. A little bit of man, especially like they'll load the box on early downs, and then they'll jump into their a little bit more zones if they get long yardage situations and that type of thing. Play some Tampa too, and some 3 cloud and those some different zones and things. But good defense. I mean they play hard and they play physical.
I know you're probably looking for any little thing to help with the execution. I think playing now the next 2 at home can kind of help that.
I hope so. But like we won the Southern Ill game, and we didn't. It's not about where you play; it's how you play. And believe me, I'm looking forward to playing the next 2 here at home, and it'll hopefully get us some even more juice, and maybe our kids more comfortable. But at the end of the day, we have to carry it over into the game and play the type of football we're capable of, because that hasn't happened yet.
Can you give us any update on Christian?
I'm still waiting for his. He had an MRI yesterday. Everything, he's doing better. I think he's going to be fine. They did a precautionary MRI to see if anything shows up yesterday, and we should get that result this morning, and but I think he's going to be fine.
Was he able to come home with the team?
Oh yeah, he was there. He was actually, when I got off the bus, he was waiting for me at the airport, and he was doing good. He was smiling, and I think he was just, anytime that they point to that, the neck area, and you have something there, and then he had some, you get hit in the neck, or you hit around, you get a stinger, you start getting some numbness. Anytime that happens, they're not going to play around with it, and they shouldn't play around with it. It's a precautionary thing, and we took him right to the hospital, and they diagnosed it as a neck sprain. But we wanted to get an MRI here to make sure everything was, everything's good, and check and double check before he gets cleared. So I don't know what his status will be. It just depends on how he feels and what that MRI shows.
Well, maybe just real quick, Carl kind of moved up to the
Yeah, honestly, I haven't talked to him, but I saw it the other day. I've been swamped on my end, and it's a tough situation. I mean, anytime, it's a good, obviously, an opportunity for him, but you never want, I've been in that position myself. It's not fun. It's not easy. It's just not something, you don't ever want to, obviously he took that job because he liked the gentleman he was working for, and I know he thought highly of him, and that's not a, you do what you have to do, but that's not an easy situation to go into.
Sure, they got some more playing time, certainly averages last week. What you think he brought? Is that something that
Yeah, I thought Teray did some good things, but he made a couple mistakes. I mean, he brings something to the table. He's athletic. He's fast. He just the consistency's got to get better, as in with but he could just join the club. It's got to be. There were times that there were times that we did some very good things defensively, and then there are a couple plays where that are hard to explain, hard for me to hard to accept. That I felt like we handed them, almost 28 points, had just handed them on a silver platter, and that's the frustrating part of it. They beat you, but we got to stop beating ourselves.
Coach, a little ironic that you hadn't called on Zach to punt when he's really struggling in his main specialty. You have any insight on where he is and being able to get untracked and back to his more typical reliability?
Oh, that's a good question, and I mean it's obviously he's frustrated by it. We'll see what Saturday brings.
Is it one of those things where, is it like just you have the snapper, holder, and kicker, are they not working together well, or is this on Zach?
I felt like the hold was good the other day. I haven't heard anything, and I think that other than there was one like 2 weeks ago where there was a bobbled snap, but it wasn't a good hold. But I don't think that's been the issue. He's just a couple feet off. That's what it is. I actually, when he hit the one the other day, I thought it was going in, and then it just hooked right. It just missed, and it's almost isn't good enough.
Is there? We're approaching we're past the halfway point of the season now, and the kicking game is still struggling. Is there, kind of a line where you say, okay, this is enough, and maybe try someone else there?
Yes, there is at that time, and we'll see.